Hello everyone and welcome to the Cherry Heart podcast. This is episode 60. I'm Sandra and this is a podcast about crochet, knitting and some sewing too. You can find the show notes for this podcast on my blog, which is cherryheart.co.uk, and if you want to just link, I'll put a link down here, so if you want to just click to it, you can use the link down below if you're on YouTube or Ravelry, or if you're on the blog. They're there for you. Fantastic. Yes. What else do I need to tell you? Oh yes, I'm Sandra Cherry HRT on Instagram, and you can find me elsewhere on the web as Cherry Heart. So how are you? How have you been? Did you have a lovely break? Did you have a nice restful time? And did you have a nice Christmas if you celebrate? How did it go? Was it all right? Ours was good because we were at my mum and dad's, so pressure off. That was nice and easy, so that was fab. Yes, that was good. We have had everyone I can't talk. We had everyone to us on another day, so but you know, as it's not the actual Christmas day, it's always just a little bit easier, isn't it? But yeah, we had a nice time, so I hope you did too. As per usual, when I've had a bit of time off, my brain has completely slipped into holiday mode and everything's fallen out of my head, and it always seems to take me a while to pick up all the pieces and fit them back in it again. So I dare say this will be a episode full of babbling nonsense with me forgetting things, but then since that's not that different from normal, it really doesn't matter. Oh, and the other thing I was just going to say at the beginning was the Vlogmas videos. Yes, thank you ever so much to everyone who watched the my little Vlogmas videos and who left a comment, and yeah, and thanks to everyone who's joined me off the back of those. I hope you'll enjoy my regular episodes as well. But yeah, so it's lovely to see you here if you've given me a try off of that. But yeah, I quite enjoyed doing them. They seem to get a quite nice response, so thank you very much for that. So I think it went okay. Like I say, I quite enjoyed doing them. It did feel a bit different to sort of share things a little more in that way. But yeah, it was good. That's what I was going to say. It was good, and thank you for watching them. Before we begin with the making, I just wanted to have a quick little chat about my bullet journal. So I'll put a timestamp below if you're not interested in this, but I started one a couple of years ago, the year before last, and didn't succeed in carrying it through. I only did it for a few months, and then I started one again last year, and this year I managed to stick with it. So I just wanted to talk ever so briefly about that. And if you're interested in bullet journals, I'll just quickly say that I like it because it can be a diary in the sense of keeping track of events. It can be a journal, a diary in the sense of a journal of, you know, how your day was. It can be a to-do list. It can be a tracker for goals. It could be a tracker for like all kinds of things, basically any sort of goal you have, spending, a countdown to a holiday, a losing weight, you know, how many glasses of water I drank today, I don't know, whatever. There's loads of different things that people do. But anyway, I find that normal diaries and filofaxes don't really work for me. They have the wrong amounts of spaces in different areas. You know, they have an area I don't use, or there's another bit that I want is not big enough for what I want to write in, and they just end up not working. So I just like that the bullet journal system is literally a plain notepad and you put in it what you want in the way that works for you. So I won't go into any more detail about that because there's loads of information out on the internet. I'll just put a link in my show notes to a blog post I wrote about it at the beginning of last year. And you can have a look at that if that sounds intriguing to you, if you've had the same problem with diaries and things and you're like, yeah. Because I keep track of how much yarn I buy each year and also how much I use, I always think it's quite interesting. So in case you were interested in that, because you were here at the beginning of last year and you wanted to know how I got on, I just thought I'd do a little recap. So I keep track, as I said. Let's find the page. Here it is. I've got it marked. better out than stash. So this is, I just keep track of the grams that I buy, just to keep it nice and simple. So this is how much came in. So better out, better that I use it up and get it out of stash than I keep hoarding it in stash. Although, you know, I like a stash, but what I don't want to do is always be buying way more than I use. So I like to just to see how that comes out, and it's a little personal challenge to, I don't know, keep me a little bit in check, because some of you might not need it, but I need it. So anyway, so this is what came into stash. So all the different months, January, February, March, April, blah, blah, blah. So I've got 4 bars there, and it came up to here. So the total was actually 700 odd, I believe. Let's check the numbers. Yeah, 7,300 grams I purchased and put into my stash enhancement this year. But you'll see I had to crowbar an extra bar. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 here, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side. This is out. This is what I've used up and got out of stash, and it's more, quite considerably more, a whole bar more in fact. So that was 10,700 grams out. Yay! Mostly due to this orange section where I had to draw the extra bar. That's my Battenberg blanket is in there. I mean, there's other things in there, but the reason that one is such a big chunk is because that's when the Battenberg blanket went in there. So thanks to the Battenberg blanket, I kind of knocked it out of the park this year, and yeah. So I'm quite pleased with that. That feels quite good. So in theory, if I keep doing that and using a little bit more, I might actually sort of reduce my overall stash at some point, a little bit. Got to have a dream, haven't you, right? But yeah, I just like to know, I don't know, I think sometimes you look through your stash, don't you, and you sort of think, oh, I've had this year's, and oh, I've had this year's, and I still haven't used this yet, and it sort of feels almost like, well, maybe you don't feel guilty about it, but it kind of makes me feel a little bit guilty sometimes. And I'm like, why am I buying all these new things when I haven't used up the old things? And although that is still true, at least things like this make me feel like, yeah, but you are using it as well. And as long as, you know, as long as the ratio's right, balance, everything's about balance, isn't it? So this is my way of just getting a little bit of balance with it. So yeah, so my bullet journal, I actually managed to keep up all year. I kept it super simple was my way of doing it. So I spent a bit of time at the beginning of the year setting up some goals for the year. So things like this, and I had a little record of like podcasts. So I did that, managed that quite nicely, recorded all the podcasts and met my goal. And this last one wasn't actually an episode, this was all a vlogmas, but I thought that was enough to count as one, so that's fine. And then this was, I was going to do these little mini blog posts. Yeah, that failed miserably, as you can see, half of that isn't coloured in, that didn't really work out, but you know, got to try different things, haven't you? Do my little word of the year and some goals for the year, and then each month it's much more simpler, just a little bit, a tiny bit of time at the beginning of the month, just sort of looking at what my yearly goals were, and then sort of pulling a couple down to focus on that month, and then just a few things I want to keep track on, and then it's literally just pen and paper then. Very minimal time, and that making it that simple made me be able to keep up with it. It has to take very little time, I find, and then I can manage it. So anyway, this year I've got a new one. So I've spent a bit of time over the Christmas holiday setting my new one up. It's very similar sort of thing. I've set myself a little podcast goal and a little blog goal and a weight loss goal because, you know, Christmas. And yeah, and better out than stash. I've got little scales this time. I'm going to colour in little balls of wool on the scales and see which one gets the most full. That's my idea for this year. And yeah, podcast gold. Yeah, colour one of those in today. Now I've done this. So there we go. We need to stop babbling about this now because it's taken way too long. Let's crack on. Yeah, so enough about all of that. Let me tell you what I've actually made. What have I done? So I have done these. It is traditional, if you are new here, for me to start with socks. So I'm going to start with socks. I've made Santa socks. That's what I'm calling them. These are my Santa stripy socks. These are my Christmas socks in a lovely Christmas colourway, in the Christmas colours that I really like. So I like the traditional green and red, but I just like a little bit of pink and mint in there as well, and some white. Guess there's nothing else to say about that, is there really? Yeah. So it's not a self-striping yarn. I actually got, this was separate minis that I got when I found the colours that I thought would work. So the red and the pink are from a set that I got from Beehive Yarns. Really nice set. This sort of jadey green is a mini that I picked up at Yarnporium from River Knits, who has a lovely selection of minis. This mint one is one that I picked up from Knit Cosmic Strings. I placed an order for a whole skein and I saw that little mini in there in that colour, so I added that to the order. And then the whitey creamy colour is a neutral skein that I had from Rosie's Moments that's got a little bit of sparkle in it, but I don't think you'll see that. Yeah. So I've been kind of had those on my mind to make for a while. So I think the mint one I've had for ages. So yeah, but I'm really happy with those colours. They're pretty much what I imagined. I've worn these so they're not sitting on the blockers quite so well now. But yeah, so what did I do? So I did my pick and mix socks pattern basically. So with the 2x2 cuff, just vanilla, and then I just did a standard wedge toe. But I inserted a fish lips kiss heel. I didn't put my short row heel in this one, I don't think, did I? No, that's a fish lips kiss heel. I put that in because that's my favourite. So yeah. And I tend to do this if I manually stripe socks, but I'll put the little, I don't bother to do jogless jog or anything, but I just put the round beginning on sort of like one side, the inside, in theory, so that, yeah, so they're actually footed. But considering I could probably put them on the wrong way and then they'd be on the outside, I don't know why I really bother, but I do. So yeah, got those finished. It was a bit about a race against the clock to get them done for Christmas, but I managed it, so that's good. And another little quickie make I had was another of my perennial favourites, mitts. Because I have this sort of connection between Christmas and knitting, and specifically knitting on straight needles, because when I started knitting again as an adult, and you know that I've stayed with it all this time, it was on Christmas Day that I started knitting again on some straight needles that we just got. So yeah, I don't know, I always quite like to just knit something at Christmas and on straight needles. So yeah, basically these were knit flat, as they say, and it's just a little bit of the moss stitch at the beginning, a little bit of moss stitch at the end, and lovely garter in between, and just seamed up after, because it's nice and mindless. And also I made a pair like this before, and they're really useful. I leave them in the pockets of my coats, and yeah, they're just fabulous. And to be honest, I wear these most of the year. I just pull them up when it's colder. And you know, if it gets really, really cold or I'm outside for a while, I'll need my gloves and everything as well, but most of the time I can just get away with these. Yeah, so they're super handy. So this yarn is a Herbs Black Regina one. And it is in her Vintage Ornaments colourway. And this was one, I'll put the link in because I can't remember exactly, but I know it had tencel, I'm not quite sure how you say it, but yeah, it had some of that in it. So it's got sort of quite a nice sort of shine to it. Yeah, it's really nice though. They're still nice. They're nice and warm and everything. Yeah, I like those. They're just handy, really handy to put on. So that was another quick and easy, mindless Christmas knit to finish, which you might have seen me sewing those up in the Vlogmas video actually, if you watched that. Oh, and this is kind of a done as well. This is like an incoming goodie as well. It's a double, you know, it fits in both categories. So my lovely friend Sam of Makes brought me a little dashy cross stitch for Christmas, among other things. And yeah, so I whipped that up over Christmas. And there he is, my little dashy, Christmas dashy. I didn't actually put, the original has ho 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 on, and I was just about to put that on, and then I suddenly thought, because I guess you would frame it or you could have put it on something, but I thought actually it might be quite nice to leave it like that and put a back on it and have it as like a little Christmas decoration, put ribbon on. So I'm going to leave it like that and yeah, do something, either cut it out and sort of stuff it slightly so it's a little padded dog, or maybe I could just put like a felt backing on it. That might be better actually. And yeah, have him as like a little Christmas doggy to hang up on my tree next year. So that was fun. So thank you for that, Sam. I enjoyed that. Yes. So that's the things I've done. Now I need to show you what I'm working on now. So I've only really got one work in progress on the go at the moment, and it's a big one. It's a doozy. Which is this thing here. Which is a jumper, in case that's not clear, by the way. In case that's not explanatory. Oh, there we are. Look, there's a sleeve, so that helps. Let's see how this looks on camera now. This could be interesting. Yes, obvious as anything. Okay, so I had... This is the Weekender jumper by Andrea Mowry, I believe. I'll put it down here if I'm wrong. Yeah, really, really love the pattern. And it's an Aran weight jumper. So I had, when I finished my Battenberg blanket, I had quite a lot of these left over, which is actually, I thought it was fingering weight at the time. It is actually sport weight, but whatever. Yeah, I had a load of these left, and I watched the Pin, Feathers and Pearls podcast, which is by Candice, and she had made this Weekender jumper by holding two yarns together, and she had like a navy-ish colour and a whitish colour, and she held them together and she knitted it up, and it looked fabulous, like a really nice sort of mild sweater. So I was like, oh my god, I love it, it's perfect. This is going to be my year of the sweater. That's another thing in my bullet journal. It's all about the year of the garment. I've been meaning to bring out a garment pattern for the longest time. This year, people, it's going to happen. I've said it here. I've got to do it. I want to make more garments, but I must bring out a garment pattern. Anyway, that was a sidebar. Back to the issue. So yeah, so I was looking for something and she showed that and I thought that's perfect. I'll just get some navy to go with the white that I've already got, and that would be the perfect way to use it. So that's what I did. So I had my yarns, I did a little swatch, and it came out in this sort of, let's show you from the other end actually. Yeah, it came out like this, all sort of blotchy, and I thought, well, that's not this sort of nice mild effect that she got. It's all sort of blobby. Don't love that. So I thought, oh, what on earth should I do now? So I thought, well, maybe I've got a little spindle. Maybe I could just spin the yarns together a bit to make them a little bit more barber poled, and that would work. So I tried that, and that did work quite well. But it was taking me absolutely forever. I've been doing it for like ages, and I wasn't even halfway through like one ball yet, let alone the 8 or 9 I'm going to need to do this. So I thought, okay, that's not going to work. And then I remembered that it's the main part of the jumper is wrong side out, so you have the reverse stockinette stitch, and I thought, okay, well, at least it doesn't look so bad. It doesn't look quite so patchy on that side. It's more, I can live with that. I'll just go with it. It doesn't matter. So I started the ribbon. That looked good. Nicely mild the ribbon looks, doesn't it? Looks really good, I think. And then I went on to the main body, and it was a bit more patchy, but that's okay. It looked all right. So that's fine. I've resigned to it. Wasn't exactly what I liked. It's all good. I'm happy. And then I thought to myself, or I didn't think at all, as it turned out, because it was a stupid thing. I thought, oh, I haven't used that little bit up that I spun up. I best use that up because I might need the yardage. So then I put that in, and that's where you get, I don't know if you'll see this one quite so clearly. Let's hold it up and see. That's where you get this little patch. There's just a little strip in here that looks different. That doesn't look too bad on here. If it's just that, you get away with it. And that's what I thought. I carried on knitting and went, oh, whoops. Oh, I forgot about that. It does look different. Oh, well, never mind. And I carried on and carried on. Didn't think much more of it. That was great. All happy days up here. This was nice. And then I kept my 2 different yarns coming off their 2 balls, kept getting tangled up, and it was such a pain. I thought, oh, I'll just wind them up, wind them together first. It'd be so much easier. So I did that, and it was so much easier. So I got a ball like that, and it didn't take long. They're only 50-gram balls, and I wind one up, I knit it up, and then I wind another one. So I don't mind a little hand winding. That's very therapeutic. So I carried on with my hand wound balls, not thinking anything of it. But then it turns out, so this ghastly line here, so you separate balls, separate balls, separate balls, and this is where I started hand winding them together. And that's really changed how it comes out. I like it. It's much more the effect I originally wanted. I think that patch is much nicer, sort of speckledy than this, which looks more blotchy. But I didn't anticipate, because they're still from the separate balls, just that hand winding them together, not spinning them, not doing anything to... I didn't anticipate that that would make a difference. So I've knit away on that and then held it up and gone, oh, oh dear. So considering I was up here by this time, I should have, and splitting for the sleeves, I should have, I suppose, gone all the way back and started again. But was I going to do that? Hell no, I was not. So I just carried on. So yes, it does look a little bit ridiculous, I grant you, and it does show up especially well on the video, which is nice. It's a little bit ridiculous, but you know what? I really don't care. I really don't. Yeah, I don't care. I care a bit because it would have been nice having known I could have solved the problem and had it perfect and exactly how I wanted it. It is annoying, but not annoying enough that I'm going to change it, quite frankly. Alright, maybe I won't wear this jumper when I'm going out somewhere a bit nicer, but seriously, it's really not going to matter. But yeah, anyway, other than that small problem, I'm loving it. I love it very much. Racing through, it's nice, easy construction. And I'm also loving, it's got tubular cast on and cast off, which I thought was a fearsome thing to contemplate. I thought it was supposed to be horrendously difficult to do. Or, well, not horrendously difficult necessarily, but quite a faff to do. I'm sure I had a book about doing tubular cast on and it looked tremendously complicated. You had to knit a load and then do something else to it. Provisional cast-ons came into it, I thought. And anyway, there was a link in the pattern to just doing a tubular cast-on, and it was easy, and I love it. It's so stretchy and it looks so good. Total professional finish, or start, I suppose. But yeah, I love it. And also I'm thinking, why are we not using this for socks? Tubular cast on for socks, why is that not a thing? I don't hear people talk about that much. Surely that should be a thing. I don't know if there's any reason why you shouldn't. Is it too stretchy? Because normally I really need a stretchy cuff to get over my fat ankles. So yeah, I'm trying that next pair of socks. Tubular cast on, it's the way forward. Everything should be tubular cast on from now on. And there's also tubular cast off, which is okay, but a little bit more fiddly, in my opinion. I think it came out all right though. We've just got a little bit on the neckline. I think it's all right, looks okay. So yeah, now I've just got the sleeves to go and I'm home free. But I love it. It also feels like jumpers are a lot easier than cardigans. I guess because sort of the neckband is all sort of incorporated into this as you knit it out, that makes it seem easier, like there's less elements. Whereas for a cardigan now you'd still have to, you've got to put the neckband and you've got to put the, the button bands on, and it seems so many elements, such a trial to a cardigan, but this feels like it's been really easy and simple. So yes, very pleasurable experience so far, apart from the whole yarn fiasco. The 2 yarn fiasco. It does make me think though, it's been enjoyable enough to make me think that I could contemplate knitting another. That's how good it's been. So yeah, so I think that's all I've got to show you project wise. I'm not going to talk about patterns in progress, no pips this week because nothing's happened yet, because I'm just getting myself back on my feet. So yeah, moving on. Incoming goodies is the next section, and I've had so many incoming goodies, it's unbelievable, and I can't really show you them all because we'll be here all week and you'll be bored stiff, so it'd be pointless. So I'm just going to show you a choice few, I think. So I mentioned that Sam got me a lovely gift with lots of lovely bits in. This was one of them, and she got me lots of other little bits as well, but I just wanted to show you this. Look, it's a little dashy stamp. That's so cute. Don't know where she finds these things. Adorable. She got me some lovely things for my birthday as well, so thank you so much, Sam. I haven't brought them all up to share, but yeah, I really love everything. Beautiful, thank you. And I also got a gift from a friend in America, who is Amelia, and she sent me over something very precious indeed, which was a lovely project bag that she had made. Isn't that gorgeous? Lovely snowflakey insides. It's like little cross-stitchy snowflakes, in fact, like little knitted snowflakes even. And yeah, that's gorgeous. So I had my jumper project in that when it was smaller, because look, they work perfectly together. They look so good together. But it grew out of there, so yeah, I need a new project to go in there now. But that was really lovely, and she also arranged to have this gorgeous yarn sent to me as well. Let me just hold that up so you can see the yarn name. I can never say that, so I'll let you just read it. But yeah, this is a yarn from a dyer. I believe she was Polish originally and she now lives in the UK, so I think she's UK based. But this colourway, it's a sock set, so it's 75% merino and 25% nylon, and it's called Sugar Rush, and it's got this gorgeous, lovely, bright pink mini with it. Isn't that beautiful? Such pretty colours. I love it so much. So thank you ever so much, Amelia. These are so precious. I love them. That was very kind. And then I got another completely surprising gift from a lady who would like to remain anonymous. And yeah, that turned up very close to Christmas, and we'd spoken, so I knew she was going to send me something. But you know, you sort of expect a sort of a little something, and I got a knock on the door, and there was just this ginormous box. So I've spoken to the person in question, so they know, but just thank you again. But I'm just going to show you a few choice bits. This lady as well has a Polish connection, so she's found me some really glorious Polish yarns and yarns from Polish yarn dyers, and just really thoughtful, lovely things included in that parcel. But I'll show you just a couple of things. So the first one I wanted to show you was these three, because they are Polish wool from sheep living in Poland. Aren't they just glorious? And I'm not going to, that's the name of the shop where that came from. I was going to say, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce them. I'll just turn it around so you can see like that. Something wool, I guess that is. But anyway, that was the website. But yeah, these were just very, and look, there's so many little things like this included as well. Lovely cherries, just ribbons with cherries on as well. But yeah, I just really feel like I want to do something nice with that. I'm not quite sure what, because obviously it's a very woolly, very itchy for my little sensitive soul that I am. But they just look really lovely, and I don't know, there's just so much thought being put into these things. I just want to use them for something special. And again with this one, this was from the same place. And she did put in there that, you know, I know this might tickle a little bit, which isn't, you know, it's quite itchy for me. She said, but it is a very nice tickle. So yeah, look at that, isn't that gorgeous? Again, Polish wool dyed in Poland. Beautifully. I don't think it's actually hand spun, but it's all, you know, really, yeah. I'm being incoherent again. I think you know what I'm trying to say. I just really appreciate the effort she's gone to in finding things that will be authentically, you know, very Polish and not something that I would get here. And it's almost like when you go on holiday and you want to get a yarn that's very much of the local place, because it's like a yarn souvenir. I kind of feel like I've got the treat of that without even leaving my home. So it's so kind that she's given that to me. And then there's another couple here that I'll show you from Polish yarn dyers. And again, I'll show you the name of that one so you can see that they've got a website as well. Let's just show you that. You know, I don't know if I have any Polish viewers, but you might see that and you might be able to just pop down and get it. I don't know. But anyway, the internet, you can order these things. Though I guess the website would be in Polish, so maybe you would need to know some Polish to order it as well. I don't know. But yeah, so this is just a beautiful another sock yarn. This one's merino, but it's just, look at that beautiful stellina showing up in there. Lovely semi-solid colour as well, which is so pretty. So that one's beautiful. And also this one's a merino one as well. This one hasn't got the website on the label, but I suspect if you typed Nellie's Fibres into Google, something would probably pop up. Yeah, that's a superwash merino. And she didn't put in sort of labels, sort of translating things, so I know what they say, you know, like what the colourway name is, or what the wool content is, or care instructions if that's relevant. So this one's got a little unicorn thing on it, but she put some fabric in there as well for me, and I don't know, it's just so kind. It was so unexpected, and I wasn't expecting it. That's saying the same thing again. You can see I'm getting all overwhelmed with it all. Yeah. I don't know, it's such kindness, isn't it? Such thought and effort and care has gone into that, and such generosity. It's just so nice. It kind of blows you away, really, and not quite sure what I've done to deserve that, but I do very much appreciate it. It was a real, well, it's still a joy. It was complete joy to open and discover it all, and yeah, it has brought and it will bring a lot of joy, so thank you for that. I think I'll leave it there. I do need to arrange a giveaway. I feel that a giveaway is overdue. I was going to do it when I got to 10,000 followers, because that seemed as good a reason as any to have a giveaway, and now it's like a new year, so that's a good reason to have a giveaway, isn't it? And it's like my birthday month, so that's another reason. So all in all, I think we must do a giveaway, so I shall try and get that sorted in my brain and do that next time, I think. Yeah, I think that's it, really. So I will say goodbye to you, and we'll have the fun of editing this big old mess. Hopefully you won't have noticed it's a big old mess, because I'll have edited it so well you won't even know. Fingers crossed for that, eh? But yes, until then, I shall see you next time. So thank you ever so much for watching. Thank you for sticking with me this long if you're still here, and if you like what you've seen and you're not already subscribed, if you'd like to, that would be fab. Thank you. And I shall leave you in peace now. So I hope you enjoy yourselves till I see you next time, and I hope you get some lovely crafting time, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye! Right, let's start again. Clapperboard down. You can find me around the web at, no, hang on, that's all wrong. You can find me